I welcome you all to Turning Point, HR and Technology in a New Talent Economy. Ladies and gentlemen, this summit is brought to you by Ramco in association with Network 18 Media and Investments Limited. Our knowledge partner is KPMG and the media partners are CNNIBN, HT Mint, Forbes India and Human Capital. With us today are the most distinguished speakers spanning across industries who will be discussing and deliberating on issues pertaining to the HR community. Now I take pleasure in introducing Mr. Virendra Agarwal, or VA as he is known to all of us, CEO, Ramco Systems.
I'll focus on where the technology world is headed and how it is reshaping the enterprise computing market. For many, many organizations, it's becoming mobile first, rest later. If you see Yahoo, if you see Facebook, if you see various companies, mobile is the new mantra. Mobile comes ahead of that normal terminal. And since you're talking of the Gen Y, there's nothing you can do without social being in it. So if you can't do your Facebook while being on the application, or you can't copy your profile from LinkedIn and do stuff like that, you're not interested in that. So whatever you do has to have social. So we saw Salesforce.com bring in Chatter and made Chatter the center point of their strategy, and so on. Who would have thought that a social tool like Chatter would be center point of an enterprise computing company strategy? But that's what happened. And this Gen Y generation is also a very impatient generation. They want instant gratification. Nobody's willing to wait for processing to take for long, or do MRP run, or do scheduling of workforce and run it for 2 hours, and so on and so forth. People want instant results. So in-memory is becoming increasingly important. If I can see what is trending in Yahoo, why can't my computer know that I order these 5 parts only? Why do you have to enter the 16-digit part number? I mean, why doesn't the system knows me after 20 years of usage? I have to enter the same thing again and again. Based on the pattern of usage, why doesn't the system learn? So it's expecting the system to be aware of context, aware of situation, accordingly behave. And then you've been hearing of big data for a long period of time now. So then came along the big data and say, you guys, if you don't have analytics built in, then you're nobody. So analytics is also built in expectation in today's world. And people are demanding on-the-spot analytics. So Amazon can tell you if you bought this book, you will be interested in this book. Or if Facebook can tell you these are the friends you would know. So why can't analytics give you information which is relevant to your business there and then on the spot?
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to the panel discussion that we all have been waiting for. The title for the session is HR and Technology in a New Talent Economy.
Let me begin with you, Siddiqui Saab, on HR and technology. And if you could share your take on the subject and how it applies to where you are in your journey of transformation and development.
Human capital is becoming a reasonably strategic challenge for the top, for the board level interventions, which was not the case 10, 15 years back. There is a big need for HR to closely align to business now. Whether we like it or we don't like it, boardroom expectations are changing big way from HR delivery. More strategic, more perhaps business impact, and therefore related fourth variable is lot of focus on measuring HR initiatives. Because when I started my career way back, at that point of time, I don't remember any measurement perspective to what we were doing at that point of time. Now it's getting closely aligned to business, therefore very high focus on measurement. So in my thinking, few things are becoming over and above the normal operational delivery of HR in terms of speed, responsiveness, in terms of maybe transparency, maybe accuracy, and biggest of them all, forecasting. When we look at some of these perspectives, you talk of recruitment, there is a lead time concept now. We look at this timeliness perspective, calendarization over the 12 months, what is to be done when. It is not that whenever you get time and whenever you get resource and we get that guy in. We look at demography shift, you will have to do the population profiling, fresh versus maybe laterals, maybe regular versus outsource. You'll have to look at maybe age, region mix, and maybe define kind of population mix and forecasting. In Maruti, next 5 years, 46% of the top management will be retiring. What is going to be the kind of strategy you are going to replace them? How? Typically, when we look at shop floor technology, automotive industry, again, 63-64% people next 5 years in big bunches will be moving out. 3 years earlier, we started that plan of replacing that skill, based on which we do 1.2 million today. So HR is going to undergo a major shift.
Hidesh, let me come to you. The age of customization, the age of speed and innovation. And you come from an organization that defines itself as a provider of services to the consumer segment at large. And you've got different consumers. As you sit in that chair, how do you react to the subject of HR and technology?
The industry in which we operate is relatively new. So today there are 120 million people on the internet in this country, but when we started there were maybe a handful. There were just 16,000 internet connections when we started. We don't have enough trained people in this industry, in this country, because some of the technologies are still sort of emerging. What is today taken for granted, let's say all of us use Google every day. There was no Google when we started. Google did not exist, right? So we had to learn how to use Google to get traffic for ourselves as a portal. I'm sure everyone in this room has a smartphone. Most people did not have smartphones till about 2 or 3 years ago. So, and smartphones are so powerful today that whatever you can do on a computer or on a desktop, you can do on a smartphone. So that's how fast things change in our industry. And therefore, what really worries us is whether we will be able to attract the right kind of talent in our company. Because talent in our industry is also sort of, people want to work with cutting edge brands, they want to work on cutting edge technology, they want to work on the latest out there. And the kind of industry we are in, we have a great ecosystem of sort of startups and new companies and funding. The environment is very different, and people who graduate out of these top colleges today, whether it's IITs or IIMs, and they all want to work for the next big thing out there. So for us, the ability to attract talent, the ability to engage them, give them challenging work, retain them, motivate them, get them, and to create a culture where sort of people feel like coming to work and give it their best becomes very, very important.
Sameer, let me come to you. How have you witnessed this change and kept pace with it?
Fundamental thing is understanding the trend, like technology as a part of HR leading to operational excellence and better service delivery to associates. That's one part of it. Second part of it is partnering in business when business adapts technology. And then trying to understand what impact it has for HR to deliver its programs. How I can look into the talent which I'll bring in now in the business, that it's savvy enough to use that technology and understand that we are moving into an organization, we are moving into an environment where social media, digital media, being connected throughout is going to be part and parcel of our job. So how does it lead to the new competencies which we need to look into, and how does it impact the people programs? It's a constant learning,
Let me come to you, Ajit. And specifically, the media itself has gone through an explosion, a boom, a real boom, and you must have felt the pinch in terms of all the poaching that took place with the mushrooming of different channels and different mediums of communication that were springing up, and even the convergence. How have you kept pace with this change?
As an organization, we are multi-platform. So we are on TV, we are on web, we are on in print. So barring radio, I think we have properties everywhere. So that helps us in retaining the talent and providing them multiple opportunities. As a business, I think what we have started focusing on is how do you provide those opportunities to people, or how do you give outlets for the same content that you're generating on one platform onto other platform. And, the similar thing we are trying to do now in, if we are using multiple platforms within our business, how do you use those similar platforms in HR to communicate within the organization with our people? Because, what you see most of the times is there is, darkness under light. So, we as an organization are very good in communicating with the external world, but do we have the same processes as robust, as fast to communicate internally? Are we using those technological platforms to communicate to our own people, spreading the same news as with the same speed as we are giving it to the external world? Are we able to spread the same news or every small incident that's happening in the organization, every best practice that is happening in one part of the business to rest of the business, so that we are able to utilize, from or share the knowledge from one business to another?
Let me come to you, PV. Specifically, in your industry, right, the use of technology can be very enabling, especially for people sitting in this gathering and others. How have you undertaken this journey to deliver better service, better quality of service to the HR community using technology?
See, manpower is spread across throughout the world. It's in 82 countries. It's a $21 billion group. If you look into this, we have about 35,000 associates working in our India, Manpower Group India. As Samir was just talking about it, we help clients. In India, the most important thing is the compliance. When you look into the compliance, different states, different laws, different formats. So this really helps us in just doing it. So we get attendance of about 35,000 people across pan-India. So we get it. How? Maybe based on this SMS, through the mobile phones, and the payroll what you do, it's on a different dates. So that's really challenging one actually. So we need to pay at the right time to all these employees and everything. When you talk about it, that the money, whatever the salary need to be deposited in time to the people. So you work. All these things we are able to do only through technology actually. Plus, we also do a lot of perm business thing. So our clients requires different kinds of skill set. When you look into this, there are a lot of skill gaps, skill scarcity throughout the world. So we help them to get the best set of people only through technology actually.
How has Ramco specifically played a part in keeping up with the pace of change?
We've been in this business for more than 15 years or so. And if you look back, the kind of technology we were building was to help HR professionals manage their affairs, the administration, and manage the people. But as you now fast forward to today, it's actually the completely reversed. Now you're looking at aspirations of youngsters, younger organizations, and younger people, far more educated. And they are looking forward, how can I take control of my life within my company? So they want empowerment. So the kind of software we are building now is fundamentally different from what was there, say even a few years ago. So now you're looking at empowering people and letting them take control of their own affairs, and they can decide what benefits they want, or they can decide who they will interact with within the organization. So you're looking at a far more dynamic organization today, where they want to manage themselves. And the HR is becoming more of a facilitator in making this completely happen. And the requirements are also changing dynamically. So your architecture, the product, your architecture has to be so powerful such that you can instantly keep on adapting to new changes which are happening in the HR field, the demands of the people. So it has to be a very fluid, dynamic, simple, powerful technology which you are bringing. And that is what modern software is all about.
Can this system have a capability where an HR head is sitting on the globe, just spin the globe, get into a continent, into a country, into a location, and able to see the org structure of that specific location? It sounded, something very difficult for us 6 months ago, but let's see if we can have that. So this is the screenshot taken from the iPad from our product. The iPad runs this way. In the left side, the workforce distribution is depicted. You have the region, you have the country, you have the physical location. The analytics are here in the horizontal. So you can have analytics at the global level at this point of time with the key indicators. I mean, we have come out of the era of talking about the headcount reports, the analytical reports, getting into the PDF documents, Excel sheets. But this is the globe where you spin, you have a bird's eye and you come down to the organization level. I guess most of the HRs over here would definitely agree that the employees are not updating their personal information regularly. So as VA indicated correctly, but are they empowered that they can do it from their mobile phones itself? So we'll just have a sneak peek into it. This is the way how employees' personal information come up. Very easily, you can just change these values if this has been updated and submit it, and either it goes to the HR for an approval or it directly updates the database as it's been configured for your system. How an employee very simply applies for a leave from his phone. So you have 4 tabs: apply for a leave, approve a leave, have leave balances, and you want to see the requisition, how it has behaved, maybe a leave history of yours. So very simply we'll go into the apply leave. You have the leave type here with the balances. You select the from date, to date, duration is being calculated, and with the remarks you can just do a submit. We talk about claims. Very simply we select a claim type from here. As you select the claim type, say you've selected medical, you also get the drop down if it is for self-dependence or whatever you have declared in your HR system. You have the values over here, and very simply you can submit the claims from the smartphones itself.
The other thing you will think is, it's not so simple. The claim has many more things. Leave approval has many more things. Employee hire has many more things. There is, remember, the normal screen available. It has much more information. For example, if you're approving somebody's request for hire, it also tells you without your asking what was the budget for those hiring positions, what has been utilized till date, what has been the KPI of that department. If your sale is half or 1/3 of what was projected, and you still want the quota of the entire salespeople to be hired, then maybe you need to think whether you've got to approve it or not.
It was a pleasure having you all here, and I would like to thank again Aramco Network 18 and all our partners KPMG, HT Mint, CNNIBN, Human Capital and Forbes India. Thank you so much.
As an IT person, knowing what the HR is likely to be the future, what are the challenges they are going to face and how they are going to tackle those challenges by bringing in technology into their day-to-day functioning. So that actually brings in the role of technology into the HR function.
I think in this new age, technology can really play a key role. For example, work from home, right? Unless you have appropriate technology, you just can't enable that. Bring your own device and flexibility, right? Communication, right? Training and skilling. So the old age methods of doing classroom training and calling people are just passé for some of these people. So technology, I think, is the backbone of trying to engage, get opinions from them, doing constant pulse surveys, figuring out how they're feeling, what else could the organization do. And that's where I think technology plays a large role.